And we are rolling. Hey guys, it's your buddy Jake Dominguez back with, of course, some more Star Wars, the Clone Wars reviews. Oh man, I just gotta say, this show rules so far. In a nutshell, that's my review. I'm really impressed. It rules. Sorry for the awful quality in this video. I'm just recording on my tablet right now. Let's see, how does that look? It'll have to do for now. Unfortunately, I got some bit of a maintenance to do on my other camera. This is the same thing I recorded my last video on. You know what? It stinks being dirt poor. But I can either wait to do these videos until I have, proper equipment, or I can just make them, and that's what I'm gonna do. This is what I have to work with, so that's how I'm gonna do it. And honestly, this show is so great so far that I just have to talk about it. So let's do that. Today I'm going to talk about episodes 2 through 4. Of course, if I look at my notepad just so I don't make any more mistakes, it is Rising Malevolence, Shadow Malevolence, and Destroy Malevolence. When I see the word Malevolence, I want to say Maleficent from Sleeping Beauty, the Disney movie. Yeah, that's how it registers in my brain, and I gotta make sure I say it correctly. But anyway, these 3 episodes are part of an overlong arc, so I'm gonna review them all together. Now, if you saw my last few videos, you saw me talk about how I was a little iffy if I wanted to do that or not. But you know what? It's just what I want to. That's just what I'm gonna do. It's gonna be hard to talk about these separate episodes without wanting to refer to the next one after that, because it's part of a 3-episode arc. So that's what I'm going to do. And I gotta say, if you saw my review for the Star Wars, the Clone Wars, the movie, you saw that I was a little iffy in that film. I wasn't a big fan of it. I didn't think it had a lot of emotional pull to it. It was entertaining, it was fun, but it just didn't have that Star Wars feel. Here's the thing. 4 episodes into this show, I already feel like it's gone above and beyond in giving me that Star Wars feel. These episodes are already better than the movie. That is amazing, and the writers, the creators of this show went through a big jump. I don't know what happened, but this show is great so far. I'm really surprised, and it's making me wish I would have done what every other Star Wars fan in the world has done and just watched it earlier. Well, let's talk about it. The first episode, which is Rising Malevolence. Is that what it's called? Yes, it is. Now, this episode basically is about this gigantic warship controlled by General Grievous, and he's going to use it to do lots of bad, evil things, as you can imagine. Now, the Republic sends in Plo Koon. Yeah, Plo Koon. Remember Plo Koon? You saw him in the Jedi Council. He gets blown up in a spaceship in Order 66, Revenge of the Sith. Barely gets any screen time. He gets his own few episodes here, basically. How cool is that? I mean, he's awesome in this episode. Basically, in a nutshell, we see General Plo Koon. Plo Koon. There we go. And he's going to destroy Malevolence, and it fails miserably, which leads Anakin and Ahsoka to disobey orders and to go save them. We learn that Plo Koon was the person who found Ahsoka and brought her to the Jedi Temple. The next episode, which I believe was Destroy Malevolence, yes it was. I'm going to get better at memorizing these names, I promise. Basically, it's about them, once they find Plo Koon, they try to destroy the Malevolence. It's exactly what it sounds like. Huge battles ensue. Ventress, of course, is there. What, is she there in these episodes? I'm starting to watch a little ahead, so I'm getting a little mixed up. Anyway, so we see them, and the next episode is where things really get great. Now, in this next episode, we have Anakin and Ahsoka go to save Padme and C-3PO. That's right, they're in the show now. They're kidnapped by General Grievous as like a ransom for the Republic. And that's basically in a really rushed, badly told synopsis of these episodes. For me, the end of this arc is where things really got great. I was kind of rolling my eyes at first when I found out Padme was going to be like a ransom. It's like, oh, it's a damsel in distress kind of thing. That's what she was kind of, sort of in the movie. So I was a little iffy on that. But she's a bit more than that in these episodes. That's all I'm going to say. Just kind of how she was in the movie, to be fair. And she is awesome. And it's so great to see her. And it's interesting to see in this episode how they handle Anakin and Padme's romantic relationship. That is, they don't really address it at all, really, but it's there. We know the reason why Anakin wants to save Padme and why it's a big deal that General Grievous kidnapped them. And that was one of the criticisms, of course, of Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, is how they handled that romantic relationship. But in this show, they barely use words. They don't even do anything, but we know, and we know they're in love, and they handle it very well. Let's talk about the Malevolence itself. General Grievous's big warship. It's awesome. They use a couple of references to the Death Star in this ship. The way they film it, destroying things, it's really cool. Another thing I really liked about these episodes is that they showed the consequences of war. I'm pretty impressed how they do that so far. In a little, tiny little way, they show basically that war takes lives. They should talk about clone soldiers being lost. There's a big deal about if Ahsoka and Anakin should go save Plo Koon in the beginning. And once they do save him, and it's a big deal, which leads to this giant epic battle, they show the consequences of war, which I thought was pretty powerful. And it shows how Anakin is being reckless and not always thinking with his head, trying to think emotionally instead of with, the protocols of war, I guess you could say. And I really like how they're handling Anakin. Wow, I combined Ahsoka and Anakin. That doesn't work. And this show, I feel like he's written very well. We see his struggle between what he wants to do and what protocol sends him to do. As we know from the films, that was a big thing that led him to join the dark side and all of that. I think that's really powerful. And he takes responsibility for his mistakes in this episode. I thought that was so cool. I love Ahsoka and Anakin's relationship in this series. I can already tell that's going to be a strong part of the show. Seeing Anakin talk with Ahsoka Tano in this film, and she's naive, and she's gung-ho, she's so happy to be a Jedi, and all of that, and seeing Anakin seeing some of himself in her, etc., etc., it's awesome. I love their relationship. To me, that's what made the movie the best parts of the film. The best parts of that film were their relationship, and that continues here. We also see a lot of Obi-Wan Kenobi and his relationship with Anakin. Again, another criticism of the prequels. We don't really get to see a lot of their friendship in those films, supposedly the critics say. But you know what? There's just a few scenes in the last episode of this 3-episode arc, talking about destroying Malevolence, of course, that went after Shadow of Maleficence and Rising Malevolence. I'm so happy when I don't have to say that word again anymore. Anyway, so there's a few scenes with Anakin and Obi-Wan, and it's great. You know that they're friends. It's awesome. For a kid show, this is a pretty well-written show. I'm extremely impressed so far. And above all, it has that Star Wars feel. It is entertaining. It is fun. And I loved watching it. I was so impressed with what they were able to do in these 3 episodes. In terms of any criticisms I have, it's hard. As much as I love Ahsoka Tano, there's a few times where I'm a little iffy on some of her dialogue. I mean, it's so, maybe that's nitpicky, but there's times where some of her dialogue and her line readings are a little on the cheesier side, and it's a kid show. I understand it. I think Ahsoka Tano, I'm not quite sure how old she is supposed to be in this show. If I look at the big canon, I could probably figure that out, but she obviously is supposed to be, she's the kid, and she's the person who the children who watch this show are going to relate to and that sort of thing. And I get that, but there are times where I find it a little corny, but overall she's an awesome character. And I really like her so far. Even in the movie, I thought she was awesome. So I'm really happy about that. Overall, this was a great 3 episodes. Each episode in itself is like its own little mini movie. It's better than the film in general. I was nervous going in to review this series. I knew the hype. I knew everything I was going to know going in terms of how good it is, but I didn't love the movie. I thought okay, there's something there, but I don't know if they completely got it yet. This is the beginning of the show, and they already got it. I mean, this is really outstanding. I'm excited to keep watching it. So overall, in terms of these 3 episodes, Rising, Malevolence, Shadow of Malevolence, and Destroy Malevolence, my personal favorite. It's awesome. I love this. I love it. It's great. 2 thumbs up. It has humor. The battle droids are really funny. I'm going to talk about that in another review. It's awesome. I'm super impressed. There's also a few great callbacks to the original series in terms of some of its dialogue. At the end of, what was it? I think it was Shadow of Malevolence, the second episode, so that'd be episode 3 overall. There's a fantastic use of a certain line of dialogue from Return of the Jedi. It was great. If you're going to do fan service, that's how you do it. Don't draw attention to it. It was fantastic. I was laughing out loud. That's all I'm going to say. This show rules so far. I'm really impressed. I'm going to keep watching it, and I'm going to review them every day. So stay tuned for more videos. I know I'm a little all over the place because I'm crazy and I'm a geek and all that, but you know what? This show is so awesome. I can't help it. I'm really impressed so far. I know I keep on saying that, but it's true. I'm impressed by how much I love it. It's like, if this is the rest of the show, if this is all 120 plus episodes, then let's keep watching. It's awesome. So guys, stay tuned. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and never forget, I am your friend. I am always there for you. May the Force be with you. You guys are awesome. I'll see you next time.